The SEAL Admiral joked with the black janitor about his code name until Lone Eagle froze him. The Navy SEAL headquarters in Norfolk, Virginia, was the kind of place where discipline wasn't spoken, it was breathed. Polished floors, sharp salutes, and secrets buried deeper than oceans. Every corridor echoed with precision. Every face wore silence. But not every hero there wore a uniform. In the far corner of the mess hall, pushing a mop with quiet rhythm, was a tall black man named Samuel Pierce. He was the janitor, invisible to most, ignored by many. His uniform was faded blue, his badge said maintenance, and his silence made people assume he didn't belong. Every morning, the young recruits joked around him. "Hey, Mr. Clean," one would laugh, tossing a paper cup his way. Another would whisper, "He probably doesn't even know what a SEAL does." Samuel would just smile softly and keep mopping. He never fought back, never corrected them, never revealed that the very hall he cleaned once echoed with his own name, not as a janitor, but as Lone Eagle, one of the most decorated SEAL operatives in modern history. But no one knew. At least, not anymore. Years ago, a mission went wrong. A covert rescue op deep in hostile territory, the kind no one talked about on TV. Samuel had made a choice: save the innocent, disobey the order. Lives were saved, but the mission's secrecy was blown. The brass made him the scapegoat. Quiet discharge. Reputation erased. Instead of court-martial, they offered him silence, clean floors instead of clearance. He took it. Because honor, he believed, didn't live in titles. Then came Admiral Thornton. A career soldier. Sharp. Ruthless. The kind of man who didn't believe in legends. One morning, he noticed Samuel in the corridor. "Morning, janitor," he said with a smirk. "Tell me, what's your code name, soldier?" Laughter filled the hall. Samuel just looked at him and said quietly, "Lone Eagle." The Admiral froze mid-laugh. The room went still. That name wasn't supposed to exist anymore. It was classified. Thornton's voice dropped. "What did you say?" Samuel didn't flinch. "You heard me." Later that evening, Thornton called his aide. "Pull every file you can on the code name, Lone Eagle." The aide returned hours later, pale. "Sir, those files are sealed under presidential order." Thornton frowned. "By who?" The aide swallowed. "By Admiral Reeve, your predecessor. The one who vanished after Operation Iron Shadow." The Admiral didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Samuel came in as usual, cleaning the corridor outside Thornton's office. The Admiral stepped out, pretending casual interest. "You said your name's Pierce, right? How long you been here?" 8 years, Samuel replied. "Ever served before?" Samuel smiled. "A long time ago." The Admiral gestured toward the janitor's mop. "Hard fall from glory, huh?" Samuel met his eyes. "Sometimes cleaning up after others is the only honorable thing left." Thornton didn't respond, but something in Samuel's calm unnerved him. 2 weeks later, SEAL Team 6 prepared for a classified drill simulation, one that tested every soldier's tactical readiness. But midway through, disaster struck, the system glitched. The simulated enemies breached digital defenses, and the team's entire plan collapsed. Panic. Confusion. The Admiral barked orders, but nothing worked. From the back of the control room came a calm voice. "Your flank's compromised. Reverse the sequence, block Alpha Lane, and use the East breach pattern." Everyone turned. It was Samuel, the janitor. Thornton frowned. "Who let him in here?" But before anyone could stop him, Samuel walked up to the console, fingers flying across keys faster than the text could track. Lines of code scrolled like lightning. Within seconds, the simulated breach reversed, flawlessly. The system stabilized. The Admiral stared. "How did you?" Samuel turned slowly. "That code pattern hasn't changed since I wrote it 15 years ago." Silence. The young recruits looked at him with wide eyes. "Wait, you wrote the SEAL breach algorithm?" He nodded. "And the rescue grid? And the blackout extraction model?" The Admiral stepped closer. "Who are you?" Samuel looked him dead in the eye. You already know, sir. You just forgot. That night, Thornton accessed his restricted comms and found an old mission file, Operation Iron Shadow. The mission logs showed a blacked-out line of text. Only 2 words were visible: Agent, Lone Eagle. The mission note beneath it read, risked command to save 27 lives. Classified heroism. Order, silence. The Admiral sat back, speechless. The next day, he called an emergency assembly. Every officer, every recruit, gathered in the hall. The same hall Samuel had mopped for years. When Samuel entered, whispers rippled through the crowd. Thornton took the podium. Officers, he began, I owe a man in this room an apology. A hero we forgot. A legend we buried. He turned to Samuel. Mr. Pierce, or should I say, Lone Eagle, would you please step forward? Samuel paused, mop in hand. The silence was deafening. Slowly, he walked to the front. Thornton saluted him, a full, rigid, military salute. You saved lives that day. And this base, this country, owes you more than we can ever repay. For the first time, Samuel's composure cracked. The recruits who used to mock him now stood at attention, tears in their eyes. One by one, they saluted. Months later, Congress reinstated his record. The Navy restored his honors. But Samuel didn't return to command. He stayed right there, same hallways, same mop, because he said the floor still needed cleaning. When asked why, he just smiled. Heroes don't work for medals. They work for peace. And every new recruit who passed him now knew exactly who he was. They didn't call him janitor anymore. They called him Lone Eagle. The legend who had been right there among them, silent, humble, and watching.